Gunship Battle Total Warfare. It's Reddick, and I'm finally back. We're here to conquer the mysterious Elysium, the all-new parallel space discovered by the Armada's 55th Expeditionary Detachment. Prepare for the ultimate Alliance versus Alliance battle and cross into the all-new dimension, Elysium, and obtain some dark crystals, which can be exchanged for an exclusive special item. For our Gunship Battle Total Warfare Admirals who are itching to participate in the new Elysium battle feature, here are 4 key points you will need to remember. Elysium is a strategy-focused, server-based Alliance vs. Alliance battle feature where comparable units and equipment are allotted to all participating admirals. This way, strategy is what decides who wins the war. Elysium battles take place once a week, and each world zone will host their designated battle in a different time slot. Each time slot will last 1 hour. In order to participate in the Elysium battle, there are a few prereqs that all alliances must meet. First, alliances must register for participation when the Elysium registration period opens. Alliances from World Zones 1 and 2 are eligible for registration if at least 20 of their members are level 30 and above. As for World Zone 3, alliances there must have at least 20 members that are level 23 and above. Only alliance members rank R4 or higher are able to select the time slot, and each alliance can only choose one time slot. The first 100 alliances that register for each time slot will be eligible to join, and this is on a first-come, first-served basis. Do keep in mind that once the time selection has been made, it cannot be changed. After registration is complete, matchmaking will take place from Monday, midnight UTC, through Tuesday, midnight UTC. Once complete, a fleet formation period will take place from Tuesday at midnight UTC through Wednesday at 3 p.m. UTC. Please keep in mind that admirals can enter Elysium only if they have completed the fleet formation phase, using the provided units during the given period. Once your fleet formation has been completed, you will be allowed to enter the Elysium map 15 minutes prior to the battle start time. One very important thing to keep in mind is that although you are allowed to exit the map, re-entry is not permitted. The entrance order into Elysium will also be issued on a first-come, first-served basis, and a total of 30 members from each participating alliance will be allowed. If a participating alliance member leaves mid-battle, causing that alliance to fall below 30 members, any other alliance member who's completed the fleet formation phase may enter the battle and fill the dropped member's spot during the same battle. Elysium League is an Alliance vs. Alliance battle, where 2 randomly matched alliances compete for an hour to obtain enough points to claim victory. When entering Elysium, members of each alliance will be placed on the Elysium map opposite each other in the order in which they enter. Points can be earned by conquering any of the 15 buildings located throughout the map, or by winning the battle at the particle reactor, located at the center of the map. Each building has a different point value, and points are obtained every minute these buildings are occupied. Point acquisition will be based on the following. Building numbers 2, 6, 8, 12, 13, and 15 are 10 points each, and buildings 3, 5, 9, 11, 14, 16, and 17 are 12 points each. Lastly, buildings 4 and 10 are 25 points each. Aircraft carriers can only be moved to map territories conquered by your alliance, or locations near those territories. This makes it impossible to immediately move to the other side of the map at the start of the battle. However, admirals will always have the option to move to the central map territory where the particle reactor is located. Depending on the status of each building, admirals will be required to deploy their ACC to territories adjacent to the buildings they occupy. Excluding the particle reactor and the starting points, there are a total of 15 buildings in Elysium. Each of these 15 buildings can be occupied based on the number of ACCs your alliance has stationed in the designated territory adjacent to each. Your alliance can conquer a building in a neutral state by stationing an ACC in the designated territory for 30 seconds without contention from an enemy ACC. If both alliances are in the same territory, conquest progress will stop and all enemy ACCs will need to be removed from the area in order for the conquest to continue. However, this conquest parameter can be overruled if an alliance has 3 or more ACCs in that territory than the competing alliance. Conquest progress will then proceed for the alliance with 3 or more ACCs. Lastly, a building that has been conquered by the competing alliance can be retaken by attacking it until its HP is reduced to 0. putting that building into a conquerable state. The particle reactor is the building located at the center of the Elysium map. This building is activated 20 and 50 minutes after the battle begins, for 5 minutes each round. The particle reactor can only be attacked once activated, and the alliance that inflicts the most damage within the designated 5-minute time frame will be awarded the 1,000 points designated to that building. Conquered territories must remain connected to the starting point. If the competing alliance attacks and breaks the territory connection, your alliance loses control of any disconnected areas. This will render all disconnected territories neutral, meaning neither alliance should ever let their guard down, even if you're winning. Severing the line empowers each alliance to turn the tide of the war. Everything comes down to your alliance's strategy, and that is the beauty of Elysium. All items required to conduct battle in Elysium must be obtained from the Elysium item sites. Admirals will not be able to use their items from their personal inventories. Each alliance will have one shared inventory, and the items in that inventory can be accessed by all participating alliance members. Items like repair boosts and sailing boosts can be obtained from these item sites. However, unlike those used outside Elysium, the sailing boosts used will reduce the travel time remaining by seconds versus percentage. Aircraft carriers cannot be repaired while deployed. ACCs will be auto-repaired upon returning to base. However, each alliance will have a designated recovery area for aircraft carrier durability, so admirals don't have to return to base to repair. Once an alliance conquers a recovery area, the durability of those ACCs stationed in the area will recover at a rate of 5% every 10 seconds. Unit repairs will not consume resources, and can be sped up by using repair boosts, collected from repair boost sites. Repair time can also be reduced by using alliance support, or by returning to base where all units will be immediately repaired. The durability of all competing alliance units can be checked. Collecting items from item sites and occupying durability recovery areas are both critical for victory. There are two types of rewards that can be obtained from an Elysium victory. First, participation rewards will be distributed to all admirals who participated in the Elysium battle. Second, victory or loss rewards will be provided only to those admirals remaining when the battle ends. Bear in mind that these rewards are distributed at the end of the battle, meaning admirals who leave mid-battle will not be eligible to receive them, so be sure to stick it out until the end. Players will get dark crystals as rewards, which can then be used to purchase items from the Elysium shop. At this time, Elysium will be a seasonal event, and an announcement will be made at the close of each season. Elysium Alliance rankings will be determined at the close of each season, and the final ranking will be determined by compiling the victories and losses of each competing alliance each week. And this, my friends, is a brief introduction of the new Alliance vs. Alliance feature, Elysium. Our team is very excited to bring you a whole new part of Gunship Battle Total Warfare, one that will truly test your alliance's strategy and teamwork. What are you waiting for? See you all in game. This is Reddick, signing out, and as always, fear the bombs.